that crack specifically is the one that first alarmed us to us. Obviously, we had the rock slide that occurred, a week ago Monday, that brought some of the material down onto the road. After further investigation and doing an aerial assessment, our geotechnical engineers identified that crack above the highway, which has caused the overall closure of the highway for as long as it has been. So what that tells us is a large portion of that that mass is moving. And we've been monitoring that slide daily since that occurred. And we're seeing about 15 to 20 millimeters a day of movement on that slide as a result of that crack. Our first priority is to get the highway back open to single lane alternating traffic. So over the weekend, through the long weekend, crews worked really hard and they built a lock block wall down the median of Highway 97. What began yesterday was construction of a large berm, and that's going to be placed at the toe at the base of the slide on the southbound highway lanes. And once that's complete, we expect to be able to open to single lane alternating traffic. Right now, our target for that is the weekend of September 16th.
I know in situations like this, you're probably feeling all kinds of pressure to get the highway open, right? I mean, this is a key transportation corridor.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure's there, but it's more about understanding, like when we put people on detour routes and on Forest Service roads and on routes they're unfamiliar with, that comes with its own, challenges, right? And additional work that has to happen. So our focus, our priority is always to get traffic moving back on the highway as quickly as possible. But obviously that has to be done when it's safe to do so. Mm-hmm. And that does involve a lot of like our engineering and our operations crews and our construction crews really trying to understand the slide and understanding what steps need to take in order to allow us to do that safely.
Is it possible, let's say if that movement of 20 millimeters a day, if that was to stop, but we still had that fissure there, that crack, that could be okay? Is there any way to pin it against the mountain or anything short of removing that material?
Yeah, there's lots of options that we're exploring. Removing it there's anchor options. That's something. So long term, that is something we're trying to understand what those options are to stabilize it and get it to a point where it isn't moving and a point where we can safely reopen the entire highway. Right now, our focus is getting the highway back open to single lane traffic. That will allow then traffic to start moving on the highway versus on the detour routes. Certainly, if the slide changes in how it's been moving or additional material comes down, that could absolutely impact when we do get open. So the next few days here and how work progresses and how the slide responds to it, that'll start to give us more confidence of whether or not we can achieve that target of September 16th.
Okay. Well, let's hope it works out for you. Thanks very much for filling us in. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.